Well, lovely to see you both. I'm really enjoying the show so far. I'm going to
Thank
start
you.
by asking, I mean, as audiences, we kind of often delve into the kind of criminal underworld with kind of hardened pros, people who
Sure.
know their way around. But there is so much joy that derives from falling into the world of Raj and Mir, who have absolutely no idea what they're doing. How fun is that as a kind of narrative device to kind of set the tone for Deli Boys?
I mean, it's so fun.
It was so like I feel like I never realized how much fun it was to play just a dumb guy that, thinks he's really
Uh,
smart and thinks he's got it all figured out, but truly has no idea what the real world is like. It's just fun playing naive.
it was amazing. The part of the reason, that I was attracted to the show is that it felt like unique and different. And, aside from it being, a thing that South Asians have never really been seen in, at least in my experience, that, we can go into a comedy and it's crazy. And yeah, we are just two dummies trying to being thrown into this world and then also having to figure out how to swim. You're getting thrown into the pool and being like, you better
Yeah.
figure out how to swim, otherwise you're gonna drown. So the fact that you have that layer of we're idiots trying to figure it out, but then there's a very serious layer of like, hey, the stakes are here. If like you don't figure it
Yeah.
out,
You will
it's gonna
drown.
yeah, it's
You
gonna
will
be
drown.
really bad for you. So that kind of what they've created are circumstances in which the comedy hits harder and the action and the gravity of the situation we're in also hits hard too. So it was
They're all really complimentary of each other.
yeah, and it was just such a pleasure to work on, because you had both. Oftentimes it's like, oh, you're just doing a serious drama or just doing a crazy comedy. So be able to do both in the same project was really, really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tricky tone to get right, but
Yeah.
it pulls it off. But I mean, they're very lovable characters, but they're really flawed as well. How important is
Yeah.
it to have fully fleshed out human characters, even in a kind of big raucous comedy show of this nature that has kind of big kind of comedic set pieces to still be grounded with that humanity?
Yeah, I mean it's a huge deal because like we rarely, if ever, get to play three-dimensional characters that, you know the goods, the bads, and the uglies of their life, right? It was amazing to be able to play a flawed character that, with a point of view, and I mean, we had the best time doing it. It's not something I have ever gotten to do before, and I can only hope that we get to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was speaking to Poorna just now. We're talking about the kind of the American comedy kind of world, and even though
Yeah.
she mentioned kind of Apu from the kind of Simpsons and how you do get kind of South Asian representation, but it's usually just a character in something. But here, the whole story revolves around these characters. How important is it to not just appear in a show, but to be the show?
Yeah, the idea of moving from auxiliary character, which a lot of, we've played a lot and a lot of our, friends and, fellow actors have done and kind of lamented, but you kind of
Yeah.
accept it at a certain point of like, maybe this is it. Maybe we're just this side guy that pops in for a second and leaves.
Yeah.
And, this kind of opportunity and this kind of show is, just sort of a testament that, hey, everybody's got a story and you can go deeper and there's a lot more there, and you don't just have to settle for whatever has been given to you previously. So
Yeah.
this kind of story allowed us to have the opportunity to play, fully fleshed out three-dimensional characters. And I think what hopefully it will do is by being out in the world, it'll, sort of give other people the license to be like, hey, this industry kind of works off example, you know what I mean? So they're like,
Right,
there's one
right.
Fast and Furious movie. I need a movie with a fast car kind of thing. So hopefully this will be that, for this type of show for, South Asian representation of people can be like, hey, whatever, group we're in, you can make a show with this group and kind of delve deeper and we can be the front facing people in the show.
But I think one of the things that's so amazing about the show is if you take us out of it,
Yeah.
if you take the South Asian out of this show and replace it with any other type of person, the show will still work.
Yeah.
And I think that's an amazing thing. And I want to see more shows like this with people like us in them, just normal shows that will work with any type of person. I think that, I really hope that this show inspires people to start just writing their wildest
Yeah.
dreams down on paper, the most insane script they could think of. And I really hope things get made like that, man.
Yeah, and we're free. We're like,
Yeah, we have-
I'm willing to work on those
same,
ideas.
Same,
Yeah,
same,
yeah.
same.
If you just put
yeah.
my Instagram handle right here.
Yeah.
It's not just wanting to see shows like this, it's also wanting to see more of this, because this show, I mean, you know, you look at some of the great kind of American kind of shows of this nature. I mean, you get like
Yeah.
Schitt's Creek, for example.
Sure.
They run for multiple seasons. Could you see the same happening for kind of Deli Boys? Do you hope that to be the case?
Oh, God.
Look,
all we dream of. All we dream of.
We talk about this all the time. We want to do 6 seasons in a movie. But right now, the only thing we are focused on is trying to get people to watch season 1.
Yeah.
You know, we're confident that if they just watch the first episode, they'll accidentally binge all 10 episodes.
Yeah. The response has been really nice.
Yeah.
We know it's a crowded space for TV and film. And we really want people to watch it, because we do really feel like, you know, you watch one, you're gonna blow through all of them.
Breeze through, yeah.
Yeah, which is a testament to the, you know, the writer's room and, you know, and the creator Abdullah for like making a show that's like, it moves.
It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I watched it all, it was like 2 a.m. and I was on episode 5 or something, and I was like, all right, next episode. And I watched the whole thing. Yeah. It was so easy.
Although if there is more episodes, there's going to be even more screaming, because I've got to say, as if, and also was it Jake, I think, as well? That was some incredible screaming I've heard. Like, did you guys compare screams? Did you practice in the mirror? How did you get that scream?
No, I didn't know I was going to do that.
That's so funny.
Yeah. It was sort of like when we did that particular scene in the first episode, you know, it didn't say, you know, whatever. So I think it just said like yell or whatever. But I, for some reason, have maybe one other time I was on a different show and I had done the scream and it became like a thing. And I was like, guys, don't try pigeonholing me as the scream guy. I'm more than the scream guy. And then, you know what? You don't get to pick what your thing is. And for some reason, it just came out of me again. And it was sort of like a first take thing where they're like, oh, yeah, baby, we got it. We got it.
Nobody knew he was going to do that.
I was about to ask when you first realized you could scream like that, but that I probably won't actually.
It was legitimately on. It was like 2016. I was working on a show and I just screamed and I was like, I surprised myself. I was like, oh. And everybody, the camera guy was like, what the hell? Who was that? But they kept it, yeah.
The scream is one of many things that just takes the viewer by surprise. I mean, I don't want to give too many spoilers, so I'm just going to stick to episode 1. But even like the golf ball in the head, the first time you shoot someone, I just wonder because it's full of these kind of comedically inclined calamities throughout the whole show. Were there any that you read on the page and you just thought, I cannot wait to shoot that scene?
Honestly, just even in that pilot, the way that they wrote it for it to kind of everything to transpire, you know, our dad, you know, coming to his untimely end. I was very fascinated to see like how they were going to be able to play that off and still, like you were saying, play this, you know, delicate dance of like, you know, serious things happening, but they also need to be funny. And so that particular moment being in the situation he was in, and then our characters desperately trying to get his approval, or my character trying to get his approval, and watching that happen. Because when things are written in the script, you're like, I don't know. It's how are they going to do this?
Yeah.
But then when they were able to do it, and then when you see it in the final cut with all, you know, the lighting correctly and the color grading and everything, and the way Iqbal played it, Iqbal Thibault played our dad, you know. That to me was like, oh, I want to see this. I really want to see how they play this, and they did a great job. Yeah,
and you guys get through a lot of blood.
Oh yeah, and you know we did that in one take. The blood part and the scream, we did it in one take, and that was it. They used what we did once.
I thought it was great fun, and I look forward to seeing more of it as it progresses. But thank you so much, guys. Best of luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey, you guys.
Hey you guys.
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey you guys.
Hey, you guys.